All right. It's a bit late, but just kind of felt like talking through this, and you're welcome to sit and listen. Just kind of want to talk about some of the work I've been putting in and what I've been learning and the challenges that have come with this. A lot of my efforts recently have been towards getting to the root of things. Gary Vee says, fix the well, not the sink. And a lot of the struggles I've been having recently have been more like to the point where I'm like, I don't understand what is going on, why I feel this way. And let me be clear on some things. I'm doing good. Like, my life is moving in a direction that I like. Um, I'm like at my baseline. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'm stable, especially from where I was earlier this year. I've come a really long way. I'm really happy. I'm proud of myself. I'm enjoying my life. Like, I sometimes say that, like, I feel like my life is pretty much perfect. Um, there's a few things that are definitely difficult, and those things, some of them, are what's led me here to this, and to this kind of me breaking down certain things. And I've been having these like really big feelings, a lot of emotions about some very specific things recently, and um, I've been like challenged to like, how do what's going on? Why are you feeling this way? And I haven't been sure how to answer these questions, um, which you would think, oh, nothing, I'm fine, But when you're around certain people who understand your energy and they see a shift in it and they notice, you can't just give a bullshit answer. I mean, you can, but I don't want to do that. And when you have the right people in your life, you can trust to know that they have good intentions, that they are not going to try and weaponize whatever it is against you. And then you're left with this decision, well, how honest do I want to be with myself, let alone this other person? And can they help me to be more honest with myself? So if they ask me these questions about what's going on, and I have to sit and think, like, what is going on, and but beyond the surface level, right? Like, if what I'm describing is a symptom of a bigger issue, like, I'm smart enough to know the difference between the symptom and the sickness. And as I've looked at these symptoms, I think, what is it about this? Like, why do I feel this way? Like, what causes these reactions to this stimulus, right? So it forces you to dig down, dig down to the iceberg below the water, right? As they say. And what are these iceberg beliefs or struggles or traumas or griefs or whatever you want to call them below the surface, like deep in my heart and in my mind, that cause me to react in ways that I don't even quite understand. So that's been this challenge recently. And one of the biggest challenges of this, really the part that sucks, the part that I really don't like, and I'm trying to learn how to move from where I am past this, is a lot of self-awareness is coming out of this, and a lot of understanding about where it started and where these fears and insecurities and just generalized struggles began. And I've been able to go back and like pinpoint some of these moments and these times from when I was a kid, very young, like 5-ish years old. And I see these moments and I go, okay, this clearly led to this. This happened next, and then this, and then this, and then we're here, right? And I can trace it back, and I can see the way my experiences shaped me, and my capacity in those moments to handle those events, like what I did with that information, and then the next logical step of where I took it. And then when more things happened, it was like this negative form of evolution, right? It was like the sickness just metastasized and it got worse, and it just accelerated, right? And the way it led to so many moments of self-abandonment throughout my adult life, and so many moments where I chose, I guess you could say, an easier path. When the other path would have led me to just so much more emotional success, and would have led me to a lot of the things that I now define, sometimes begrudgingly, as what equates to like a high quality man. And again, with the phase I'm in life, where I find myself single in my 40s, and if you've watched my content before, talked a lot about divorce and why, for me, it is this catastrophic event because of the mythology I created around divorce and everything associated with it. So, spoiler alert, it's kind of a big deal for me. It was like my absolute worst dream, like my nightmare, to experience what I'm living in now. So trying to reframe a nightmare into something that I can find beauty in and love and embrace has not been easy. It has been so much work. But we're here, okay? Again, I love my life. I think the world is as beautiful as it's ever looked to me. Like, I have these moments of just such immense gratitude and so much happiness that I've never experienced things like this before. Like I just did not have the capacity to feel as strongly as I do now, which is amazing. However, there are still these moments where that capacity to love is only matched by the capacity to hurt and to experience sadness and to struggle in all of these areas. And if you've listened this far, you can just you get more vulnerability from me here. And again, I say that my life feels pretty much perfect. And the honest truth is that the only thing I feel like is lacking is true companionship based on friendship, trust, compatibility, like all of these things that I've always dreamt about having my whole life. And I tasted it on occasion, but it was always very fleeting. It's like those fruit stripe gum things back in the day where you take it, you eat it like, oh, this tastes great. And then 5 seconds later, you're like, this tastes like plastic. Where did all the flavor go? So like that was my experience with these like massive levels of happiness. Like I can go back throughout my life prior to this year, prior to these last 2 years, and like pinpoint like a handful of moments. I'm like, this is like the happiest I've ever been. And then these experiences now, I'm like, holy cow, I've had so many more of those in this past 2 years, even though there's been like these immense lows, right? But I've been able to experience happiness on a degree that I've just like, I didn't understand was achievable. Like it just didn't, it didn't feel real to me. Yet here I am having these moments. And I know they're a byproduct of my life falling apart and losing all these things, and just again having to rewrite the story. And you know, when you endure your nightmare, you come out of that stronger. And now that I'm in a place where I've endured the nightmare, my personal nightmare, maybe for you it's not a big deal, but for me it is what it is. And now that I'm okay, I want to be better. I'm so not okay with just accepting life as it currently exists and saying it will never get better than this. I no longer want anything else. Like I have drive to achieve more, and the more I learn about the ways I abandoned myself and chose other things in lieu of something that would make me long-term happy, the more pissed I get. Because I see all the roads I should have taken, and I know why I didn't. And again, let me be clear here. Like, I understand the big picture, and I understand that I had to make these mistakes and learn these things and do this stuff to get to where I am now, to be the man I am now. But my work that I need to do is to recognize that the ways I feel like a failure now, like the areas that are not contained within this bubble of like, I'm good, I'm set, like I'm fine. I think there's all these areas where I could have been in a better place now to pursue the things that I want. And it's like I am so far behind in these areas that it just feels pointless to even try. And then it's I'm usually so good with analogies, but I'm really struggling to come up with something right now. I guess, you know, in a way it's like me skateboarding in my 40s, right? It's like, this is great that I'm finally doing this, but I am never going to the X Games and competing, right? I have gone to the X Games, and I have been about as close as you can get to like hanging out with these people and everything. It's been pretty amazing, but I'm not getting on the ramp and competing, right? It's just, it is not in the cards for me. And, you know, and I need to be okay with that, right? But then in my personal life, like in my financial life and a lot of these other areas, I look at where I am and I'm like, I'm glad I'm here, but son of a, I could be so much further along. And I'm like, I can go and do these things and get these trainings and certifications and this and this and that. But like, oh, it's going to take so long and I'm already so old. I hate that I'm at this place with some of these like personal goals. So what I would consider not late in life, but just why couldn't I have got this going earlier, right? Past my physical prime, probably past my mental prime. And again, having done the work to deconstruct the feelings, to go beyond the problem at the sink, but to go all the way down to the well and figure out that like, oh no, someone poisoned the well. And it's been poisoned for a very long time. And how do we clean that? I don't even know how to clean that out. And I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure this out. And I know that like the byproduct of some of this is, and I'm very I realize I'm speaking in vagaries in some of these. Like I'm not being very direct about what a lot of it is, and that's kind of intentional. Um, but I've communicated a lot of this stuff before, so if you know, you know. Um, I just bounce back and forth sometimes between this mindset of if I'm just patient and I continue in the direction I'm going, I continue on this path of like I'm going to meet this person along the way, right? Um, because I'm moving in a direction that they are as well, and our paths just haven't crossed yet. And then there's this other part of me that's like, well, probably not. Like, it's too late, man. You've missed your window. Um, no one's going to want you now because you're so damaged. You're so. And again, I know not no one. I've recognized that. Like, I have had opportunities to meet some amazing people and go on dates with some amazing women. And you know, it's not like I lack for opportunities, okay? But I am not one of those people that's just like, oh, I can date as many people as I want, so I'm just going to date all of them. And like I really like to connect, and I really like to have like a true friendship and emotional connection. And that honestly, that is exhausting to build sometimes. Like to go where I like to go on an emotional level with someone is not easy. And it sometimes pisses me off that I want to go there with a person, and if I can't, I lose interest. And it's like, you may be the most, on paper, most qualified individual, but like if I don't feel it in my heart, and I don't feel that connection and that true like understanding, then what's the point of this? I'm not trying to like lead someone on, or just be like, well, it's better than being lonely, so I'll keep them around. Like I can't, I don't know how to operate that way. So I don't. So I'd rather just be alone, which sucks. It's a little lonely to be alone, right? And it's even worse when you're choosing it, because you know the direction you're headed, and you can't. Like, I know where I'm going, and I want to meet someone on that road, not someone that's going somewhere else. And it's like, hey, do you want to cross paths for a little while and then move on? You know, grow connected and then make it hard. I don't know. It's like, I don't want to date with the understanding I'm going to break up with this person because they're not heading in the same direction. And again, this is not they're not as good as me or whatever. It's just that like what they want, what their goals are, what their mission is not the same as mine. And that's not good or bad. That's just life. That's just the way that we are. Like, again, the more self-aware, the more work I do, the more I get to be at peace with this idea that like I am very okay with who I am. I'm so comfortable with who I am. I'm so frustrated that I haven't achieved some things, right? But who I am in my heart, my soul, like the type of masculine energy that I have, like I'm so content with it. I love the way that I love. I love the way that I hurt. I love the way I treat people. Like this sounds like I'm like tooting my own horn, but this is about me learning to like, I have never loved myself ever. And I have like such a hard time giving myself credit for anything that I do. And I'm finally at this phase where I look at me and I just think, man, I'm really proud of you. Like, I really like the man you're turning into. Like, I'm able to step outside from myself for a minute and just be like, dude, gosh, you're such a good person. Which feels so weird. And again, I feel arrogant saying it like that way, but again, I love my heart, and I love the way I treat people. I and I'm not perfect. Again, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm just like this guru of kindness. I have my weak moments. And I even worry about that too when it comes to like being in relationships or pursuing relationships, or if someone is like pursuing something with me, and I'm, not feeling it or whatever. It's like, I don't want to hurt this person. I don't want to diminish their feelings. I don't know. Again, but ultimately it's like, I know the level of man I want to be, and I look at where I am versus where I have to go, and it just feels like I don't know if I'm ever going to get there, because I feel like there's so much mental work to undo. I don't know if I'm up to it, because so many of my failings are rooted in such deeply rooted insecurity. Like, I don't know if I can dig down that far, right? Like, that's my fear. And I see these flaws manifest as I am trying to do certain things, and I see my laziness and my, me being scatterbrained or not, whatever, okay? I see all these things, all these imperfections that limit my growth potential, right? And a lot of this is rooted in the class I teach, right? Because in the class, my overall goal with this class is I want you to identify what you believe your potential is, and then what your capabilities are. And if you really want to turn that potential into your capability, like something that I think I can do, I'm pretty sure I actually can do this now. What is the bridge, right? And the main thing, assuming you have the capacity to actually do that, right, is like, what's your lifestyle? Like, what are the habits you do on a day-to-day basis? What do you do every day to perpetuate that growth? To flower, to water your garden, to fertilize the flowers and all that type of stuff. And once you can identify some of those things, like, do you have the mental or emotional capacity to stick with that long enough to become this version of you? And I'm constantly asking myself this, right? Because, like, it's one thing to like yourself, and it's one thing to love yourself, but it's another thing entirely to respect yourself. And that's where I'm being a little hung up in some areas. I have a lot of respect for myself in certain areas, but there's this area that I feel is such a defining part of what I feel makes a quality man, that I feel like I'm lacking in, that it's just like, well, this is great. All of this is really nice, but this is a problem. Like, the house is lovely. It's great. It's a beautiful home. The architecture is great, but the kitchen's on fire. So maybe we do something about that before I just like, oh, I love this house, I'm just gonna move in and spend the rest of my life there. Well, it slowly burns down around me. And then what that makes me think is, if I'm there, why would I want someone that I love and respect to invest in me, to choose me? Yeah, I'm just thinking of like a car on fire going down the freeway, and the trailer that's attached, and we're like, what's happening? Where are we going? This is scary. There's a fire. Like, you're going to kill me. You're going to bring me down with you. And that's my fear, is like, I do not want to drag someone else down with me or limit their growth capability, right? I'm more afraid to bring someone down that I love than, like, watch myself go through pain, which then in turn makes me afraid to love and like to give and to really like seek out this connection, because I think am I someone that they deserve? Am I the person that can help them be their best? And what's weird is, in a lot of ways, I'm like, I think as far as like being a support and a cheerleader and all these things, yeah, I can help them. But as my insufficiencies or my deficiencies or whatever, do those reduce this person's opportunities and chances to be all of this stuff? And that part gets me. And I recognize that there will be people out there that say, hey, what you are is what I have been looking for. You have on paper everything I'm looking for. But one, that's rare. And then two, do I feel the same way about this other person? Like, does that enthusiasm and like interest and love and excitement, is it reciprocal? Yeah, and that's where it's just like, oh my gosh, I know I'm enough. I know I'm enough for some people. And I meet people. I've met some people along the path that I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm going to get a little woo-woo mystical here for a minute, but I really am believing more and more in this idea that we, as life forms, scientific, down to a scientific level, we're vibrations, right? Like, think about down to the molecular level. These little cells and these molecules within the cells vibrate. That's just what they do, right? This is how this works. Go take a science class. I'm sure you probably know what I'm talking about already anyways, but like, we are energetic beings, like not on the woo-woo mysticism side either, just like on the very like real scientific side. Like, we are energetic vibrating molecules. The fact that you're hearing what I'm saying is a result of vibrations going into your canal, hitting, those little micro bones inside your ears, that turns it into something that you can understand. It goes into your brain through electrical vibrations. We're all vibrations, okay? All right, anyways, I'm done with that. My point is, I truly believe that you meet people that operate on your similar vibrational frequency, and you know it when you meet those people. And I have met some of those people throughout my life, and it's like instantly I know, like, this person and I are going to be friends. We are going to get along well. And some of those instances, there's a vibe that's there, but for whatever reason, you or the other person end up steering away from each other, which is always sad. But when it comes to dating, this is something that I've found is I've had these few rare moments where, like, it's like seeing a shooting star in the sky, right? That, like, you can sit and look at the night sky for hours upon hours upon hours without seeing a shooting star. But there's a lot of other stars in the heavens, right? I mean, there's countless, right? But to see that shooting star is just so special. And yes, seeing one means you will eventually see another one, and you're not done seeing shooting stars, right? But they're rare, and you savor them, and some of them stick around longer than others. And anyways, but I guess my point is, like, I want someone that matches my vibe, right? My vibration. And I think that I won't until I fix these areas of my life. Because while I understand that the right person will sit with you and walk alongside you as you grow and as you progress in your journey, in my mind, I won't find that person until I've hit a certain benchmark in these areas that I feel are deficient or that I'm struggling. And I struggle with this idea of whether or not I want to accept that truth. And I think it might be something just as simple as like, okay, then Ben, like identify these things, make a plan and start moving. Right now, you're working on a bunch of other things, but you're sort of avoiding this thing. So once you define a direction to travel in, maybe things are going to work out. But as you sit here and ignore it and just like put your blinders on, it's not getting fixed. There's no direction in these areas of life. And how are you going to meet someone moving in this direction in that area of their life when you're not? And again, this is the part that just messes with me, because I go, okay, I suppose I can accept that. I need to go in that direction. But I am ill-equipped for the trip. I am not, like, if this is a road trip, I don't know how to drive the car. I don't know how to find the map. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm willing, but like I don't know where to start. And then some of the things, like, maybe the car's, all the tires are flat. I'm like, oh, how do I do this? How do I fix this? Oh, the radiator's blown. I don't know how to fix that either. Like, I look at this vehicle that's going to get me moving in the direction I want, and I feel like the vehicle is so broken and damaged that like I don't know if I have the energy to fix it. And I pray, and it's like I'm not strong enough on my own to do this. And I'm not ashamed of that. Like, I wouldn't be where I am right now for so many reasons without some very, very important people in my life. I know it, and I'm like so grateful for them. But like, this is a path that like it's like there's this part of me that's like this little kid sitting in the department store that lost his parent, doesn't know where they went, and is too afraid to move, and is just like sitting there waiting, hoping they'll come back. Like, please rescue me, please find me, and take me with you to wherever, take me home, take me where we were going. But in the meantime, I'm terrified. And this would happen to me as a lot, by the way, as a kid. I would always go play at these department stores and play inside the clothing racks and all that. And then I'd come out and like, where's my mom? What is going on? What am I doing? So I'm very used to this idea of feeling lost and alone, right? So it feels like that now, but like on a much more like cosmic grand scale, a very adult way of feeling lost and alone. But in this situation, like, I know my mom's not going to show up and like save me and take me where I need to go. Like, that's not a thing anymore. And the other reality is, in so many other ways, like, I've had friends show up for me when I was lost that have helped me get to where I am, but like, it's like I don't think that it's going to happen again, and I don't know why. But I think this is all part of the growth. I think this is all part of me going from where I was to believing that someone can come into my life and help direct me to choose a better path. Because again, it's happened. And just to bring this all full circle, this is the part that frustrates me the most, because I have all the evidence to show that these thoughts and these self-limiting beliefs are not real, because I have evidence to prove that they're not. But I'm so deeply ingrained in this self-destructive thought pattern. Like, the ruts in the road are so deep, like I just can't get out of it right now. But man, I'm working on it. And I think the fact that I'm having this conversation now indicates that I am making enough growth and progress to realize, like, this is not the direction that I want to be going, or that I'm just not going any direction at all, and I'm becoming less okay with that. And I think if we're just content and happy with our life where it is, it's like, okay, well, why change, right? There's no reason to change. And that can be good and bad, right? It can mean that, like, hey, we're pretty good with the direction and we're already moving. Or on the flip side, it can mean like, I'm tired, so I'm just going to take a nap. Wake me up when the apocalypse happens. In the meantime, I'm going to just coast through the rest of my life because it's been hard and I deserve a break. And I feel like that sometimes, to be honest, because I sit at this precipice where it's like I've done enough in my life that I've earned the opportunity to retire, to just be fine, and I'm okay. Like, I don't need anything. I need for nothing right now. I'm so blessed that that's true. But there are things that I want that I haven't achieved, that I haven't done, places I haven't gone, experiences I want to have. And I can't do those if I sit and just enjoy the harvest, right? Just enjoy retirement. But this, like, that gap from where I am to where I'm trying to get is treacherous. It is a climb that requires a lot of risks, a lot of skill, a lot of determination, and whatever else you want to throw in there. It's not going to be easy. So here I am. I'm at this like crossroads of life where I've now achieved a pretty chill baseline, and I'm pretty good, but man, I want to be great. So stay tuned. We'll see how it goes, because there are some things that I want and that I see happening potentially in my life that look really great right now, but I'm so afraid they're not going to work out. I'm so afraid to fail, but such is life, right? If I wasn't afraid to fall off the skateboard, I would have started a long time ago. And if I wasn't willing to get back up after I fell off, I wouldn't be where I am now. So, and you know what's funny is I'm sitting here and I'm like, I got my knee right here curled up, and I have this massive bruise right down here, another one coming in on my shin. Oh man, that one's going to be gnarly. I have scars on my knees, and it's all from skateboarding. Like, I literally have the bruises and the bumps and the scars to show that I'm putting in the effort to try and be this thing. And now I need to prove it to myself mentally. Like, I need to earn some scars, some bumps and bruises. I need to fall, I need to crash and burn, and then get that success. But man, why did I have to wait until I was 46 to do all this? Dang it. That's okay. Better late than never, but good hell, man. Okay. Thanks for listening. If you're going through some stuff like this too, like, let me know. Talk to me. Shoot me a message. I've been working with a few people that have been going through some tough times, and trying to help them work through these things. And some people are seeing some good results, and really happy for them. And if I can help you along that route, I'm way more kind and patient with other people than I am with myself, as most of us are. Okay, so not all of that uncommon, but and I guess just to kind of wrap this up too, like, part of the reason I want to do all these things, there is the selfish aspect of, like, I want to bring that person into my life that I feel can be my companion on this journey. But the journey that I'm going on, like, I want to help people so bad. I want to bless people's lives through the work I put in and through what I've gone through. Like, I want to earn my suffering. I want to give back. I want to do my best to be there. And again, you can't pour water out of an empty canteen, right? So I'm trying to get there. I don't look at my companion as my destination, right? They're a stop along the way. They're a very important part, right, of this journey. And I want to go on that journey with this person. And I want to help change people's lives. And I don't need to change the world, man. Like, I'm beyond that. Like, I just want to change someone's world. I want to change your world and mine, and as many people as I can help. So that's my why. Love you guys, sincerely. And if you made it this far, which I doubt anyone did, but if you did, man, I just know that I love you very much, and I want to see you win so bad. And nothing makes me happier these days than seeing people I love who've been through the shit come out and start living this life that it just fills me with joy to watch. So anyways, keep doing your thing. Proud of you. Really am. I mean that. So keep pushing, guys.